Okay, y'all, I have a quick story time for you. Well, as quick as I can make it. This has been bugging me literally since Wednesday, and I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm just like, oh my God. I literally had my own paranormal encounter, and it has me shook. I'm not going to lie, 100% honest. I'm going through some personal stuff right now that has to deal with my health. And I'm actually going to be making an announcement in a couple of days. Um, I'm also launching my business, which is a residential and commercial cleaning business. Um, so that was already in the works, but now the whole health stuff it's not going to derail me in any way, but it's not what was planned. Um, it was unexpected, and it's just a lot. Anyways, so I've been really working, grinding this past week, getting everything together, getting ready for our launch. Um, Two chicks in a vacuum here in the valley in Arizona. So a soft promo. Um, so just getting it ready, right? Well, on Wednesday, I'm typically up about 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm out of the house by 4. Just my day is so long between recording, business, work, all of that. I literally have to start my day at 3. So I knew that I needed to fill up gas. I didn't fill up the night before. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to, with all the driving, I'm going to have to fill up. So I grab my coffee, head to QT. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as I enter QT, there's one thing that I noticed that was really odd. It's empty. Now, believe it or not, around those times, it's always busy. It's like all, workers going out, construction, people starting their days. It's always busy. People are there pumping gas, getting coffee, starting, you know what I mean? It's never empty. When I got there, it was empty. And then the vibe, it was really gloomy and foggy. And I'm in Arizona. We typically don't have fog, but this was like starting to feel like the beginning of a horror movie. So I pull in, and as I'm passing the front of QT, I notice that there's actually a car parked directly in front of QT. This car, when I say it's busted, it literally had its hood duct taped down. Like, that was the first thing I noticed. It was a small little compact car with a duct taped hood. And as I passed by the car, I looked in it, obviously, and I judged him. Sorry, guys, I did. But a, what looked like a homeless older white guy sitting in the car. I didn't think anything of it. So I pull into the pump. I get out, start pumping gas. Then I hear his car turn on. And again, I'm going to be completely honest. I was like, oh man, he's going to come ask me for money. I just know it. Sure enough, he pulls into the pump directly on on the other side. And he gets out and he says, excuse me, ma'am. Is there any way that I can get some money for gas? We're on empty and we have a long ways to go to Mesa. I'm in the Northwest Valley, so it's literally on the other side. Um, and we don't have any gas. So you guys are going to judge me for this. But typically, I don't like giving money out to homeless, to people like that on the road. And the reason being is my background. I come from a very poor, literally kicked out at 14 years old, living on my own on the streets. And I pulled myself out of that. Teen mom, had pregnant at 15, had my son at 16. Um, and I made something of myself. I made my career. I finished school. You know what I mean? I was literally the poorest of the poorest. There was at one point I was living in an abandoned building. So it's hard for me to just, people who were on the corner begging for money, for me to just give them money. My knee jerk reaction was to tell him no. But something literally in my mind said, no, Myra, give him gas. So I said, you know what? Yeah. I was like, but I'll put it at the pump so you can fill up. This is where it starts getting absolutely weird. He gets he starts pumping the gas, and then he starts shooting the breeze. He asked me, "What do I do for a living?" And I said, "Oh, I'm in banking." And he looked at me and said, you're gonna own the bank one day." I just laughed it off. I was like, "Yeah, I hope so." And then this next part, literally, I'm still scratching my head. What did he say? He says, "Have you ever seen somebody move a mountain with," and I can't remember what he said. I can't remember what he said, like at all. And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, watch this. You're going to think I'm crazy," because I'm still questioning it. He's standing up. He puts his feet together. He doesn't jump up. He doesn't go up on his tippy toes. This man levitates 6 inches off the ground. He levitates. And I know that sounds crazy because I literally, I still, it's hard. I'm still having a hard time grasping what I saw. And then on top of that, he slowly comes down. And then he looks at me and says, "Well, now you have, and I hope you have a blessed day." Do you know how shook I was? I was so shook. I literally hung up the stupid fuel pump, jumped in my car, and took off. And then as I was getting on the highway, it literally hit me. Why? And I started freaking out because I was like, "Why didn't you record it? Why didn't you pull out your phone and ask him to do it again so you can record it? You post this stuff for a living and you totally had your own encounter and you missed it." I was literally kicking myself in the butt, but I was so shook. I questioned myself. I was like, "Did I really see that? Was I hallucinating? Did that even happen? Is that possible?" Like literally all the way until I got to the office and I'm just like, "No." Like like I was literally questioning my sanity and I just couldn't believe that I didn't instinctively think to pull up my phone and begin recording. I was just so shooken up that I just couldn't believe what I saw. I get to work talking to a friend of mine. I'm like explaining everything that happened. I'm just like, and I even pulled up the bank transaction on my phone because I'm like, Was this real? Did it really happen?" I pull it up to verify it. I see my transaction, and right above mine was the gentleman's transaction. And this is where it just derailed me for the rest of the day and the next day. The amount was $43.43. 43.43. And I was like, that is the weirdest number ever. 4343. Of course, I had to Google it. And the first thing that pops up, angel number. Angel number 4343 and what it means. And it means it's basically a message from your guardian angel or your spirit guides that even though something feels like if it's out of your control, it is in your control, and a bunch of other stuff. And I'm just like, I'll post it to this video so you can read it. But I'm like, what? Did I just have an encounter with a guardian angel or an alien or something? Like, honestly, I'm just like, I'm shook. I don't know what else to say. Like that, and it just, with everything going on in my life right now, it's actually the perfect timing for this type of message in my life. Me personally, I do feel like it's a sign from God and letting me know that I'm on the path that I need to be and everything is going to be all right. Um, because things are going to be scary for me for a while. And wow. But there you go. My paranormal event that I did not record.